Unbelievable. That is a supremely gigantic choke from the Super Giants. 105 for 1 after 14. They needed 31 of 36 with 9 wickets in hand. And somehow KL Rahul's side have managed to end up on the wrong end of it. Well done to the Gujarat Titans in a result that was almost reminiscent of their campaign early years last year. And a Mohit Sharma over. The story continues to grow with these returning cricketers putting up quite the performance on return. 4 wickets and 4 runs in a final over. That gives us plenty to discuss as we now see a new record for the lowest score successfully defended in this year's IPL. On Visit Saudi presents ESPNcricinfo T20 Time Out. I'm glad that the unenviable job of trying to explain that match of cricket falls upon Sanjay Manjrekar and Tom Moody. But let me go to Tom first, who did say at halftime that he thinks Gujarat Titans will defend this. I don't think he had this sort of script in mind, though, as to how they would have defended it. What just happened there, Tom?
Well, it's exactly how I saw it, really, to be fair. It's a great example of a surface that is very difficult to get any fluency when you first come to the crease. So it's all well and good when you've got a partnership and you can knock the ball around and find the odd boundary, even though they're scarce, because it's not a surface that's coming onto the bat. But once you lose a wicket and the run rate gets beyond 7, 7.5 to 8, coming in and expected to have any sort of fluency to your game, any timing to your stroke play is near on impossible, particularly if you've got a smart bowling attack and a smart captain that knows how to work his bowlers towards the back end of the innings.
All that Tom says, and I get it, and I respect that. But come on, 31 of 36, 9 wickets in hand. I can understand 50 of 40, and it gets the squeeze gets applied.
Yeah.
How do you lose with 9 wickets in hand when you need 5.5 and over?
And especially with the impact substitute rule, the batting ran so deep. I mean, when Ayush Badoni came in, and you're thinking they've lost 3 or 4 wickets, but after that there was a Stoinis to come in, there was a Deepak Hooda to come in. Obviously the pitch had a lot to do with it, but Hardik Pandya set the right template that once you get in, just take your innings deep and play till the end, and KL Rahul tried to do that. Krunal Pandya's was a crucial wicket because he got himself going for a while, left hand, right hand combination. Had they stayed longer, they would have won like they did the last time. Rahul contributed, Krunal contributed. Very difficult for new batters to come in. Also the fact that, Stoinis, some of the foreign batters in these IPL teams get a pretty raw deal. You have Shimron Atmayer who keeps getting pushed back. Stoinis should have come before anyone else. I know there was, pace being taken off spinners bowling, but you want to start trusting somebody like Stoinis, who's a proper batter of some international pedigree. So batting order and everything else. And KL Rahul, that over against Mohammad Shami was a crucial one. For somebody who's set, has the big game as well. He just couldn't get a boundary away. And that really sealed the deal in the end. How many of us were backing really Lucknow to win it with Mohit Sharma coming in and bowling the final over? We all knew he would defend that on this kind of a surface.
All right, he's given me plenty to now pick from. Let's start with the decision making other than KL Rahul. We'll come to the KL Rahul innings in a moment. But when we look at that scorecard and you see Ayush Badoni coming in when he did, Tom, Marcus Stoinis coming in as late as he did, and Nicholas Pooran, who's supposed to be in red hot form, 1 of 7. And what amongst that, in say the order of how costly it's been, has affected Lucknow?
Yeah, there's so much to dissect there. At it was the 7th over, the first wicket fell for 55. On that surface, chasing what you're chasing, I would have thought, as well as Pandya did, Kunal Pandya that is, of getting 23 off 23, that's a modest return after such a platform that's been set. I would have questioned at that point, why wouldn't you, chasing that total, give it to Pooran, give it then to Stoinis after Pooran, and stack your so-called aces up as early as possible after you've got that start. It's different if you were, you'd lost a wicket in the 4th over or the 3rd over. That's a different conversation. But there, the platform was set. And we know on a surface like this, the hardest thing is to get in. So you've got to give your best players a chance to get in. So let them soak up 10 balls, get a runner ball, and have that, familiarity with the conditions. Then they can try to bang a few 4s and 6s. It was nearly like Stoinis and Nicholas Pooran never had the opportunity to get in, so that was taken from them.
I can understand why you'd send Pooran in. He's played some great innings. He's a player in form. Couple of sixes, games over. Didn't happen. But what explains Ayush Badoni coming in ahead of Marcus Stoinis?
I'm just trying to think from, how Gautam Gambhir would have thought.
We know he rates him highly.
Yeah, just that Indian pitch, pace being taken off, spinners bowling, that kind of logic. And I think that's overthinking. Sometimes you just got to look at the larger picture, just, draw back a little and look at Stoinis versus Badoni. Maybe Badoni has specific skills which are suited to Indian conditions, but Marcus Stoinis has been in good form. Send in your, experienced international players, and that's why Devon Conway's performances are now coming out looking like a rare, feat, because he would adjust his batting according to the needs, and that happens when you have certain kind of experience at the highest level. For me, always a guy with international pedigree, no matter if he's a foreign player, not used to these conditions, he would have found a way to come in. And Tom makes an excellent point of giving your best players some time to get in before they start making an impact.
Yes, Tom, something to add?
Yeah, no, you mentioned Gambhir, but Andy Flowers, the coach. So, surely there's some sort of, between those two great cricketing brains, is that you would think that the decision, like what we're talking about, which is easy sitting in these chairs here, we're not in the dugout at the heat of the moment, but you would think that that is a common sense decision that you're discussing in Stoinis having that opportunity.
Yeah, it's just overthinking.
Yeah, we were trying to find reasons, but on the panel it looks unanimous that Stoinis should be going in, even though Badoni got 8 of 6, and you could also turn that around and say, oh, look at Nicholas Pooran, he's got 1 of 7.
Well, I
That's
think
costly.
But again, my point around that is that I felt he should have gone in earlier than he went in, but we need to talk about that Nicholas Pooran 7 balls, because we talk about the brilliant innings that are the other end of this spectrum at Chinnaswamy Stadium, where he got, what was it, 60 or 70 off
like
next
18,
to nothing.
19 balls.
Yeah, not even that. But that, as much as that was a match-winning innings, that was a match-losing innings. Your 7 balls for 1 run at that point absolutely suffocated KL Rahul during that phase of cricket. And that, to me, was the beginning of the end.
But I'd like to say it wasn't a case where he consumed 7 balls and the required run rate suddenly started shooting up and went out of reach for the batters. I think, again, we come down to the broader point of playing the third gear game. How did Krunal Pandya get out after being set, and with the required run rate just being about 6 or 7 runs and over, he goes down the pitch and has a hoik, gets stumped. Nicholas Pooran against the turn to Noor Ahmed trying to hit a 6. So everybody, a lot of these new players want to achieve the target by hitting 6s when 1s and 2s will do. And that's why CSK is looking such a good side. They've got a few players who can play that kind of a game.
I sense a contrary sentiment from you to a degree.
No. I agree. But the one thing I was just thinking around the 1s and 2s, and you would know this as a former fine batsman, that you, on a slow surface like that, it's quite hard to work the ball for 1s and 2s because there's nothing, the pitch is giving you nothing to work that ball through the field or into those gaps. But I hear what you're saying. You're nearly looking for the jackpot where you just need to, look for the smaller prizes.
Yeah, and when you're looking for the jackpot, you've got to also apply some cricketing logic. Like Hardik Pandya, the shots that he played were, off the back foot trying to play the pull shot where the risk is less. Krunal Pandya
it's a tougher shot
went
to
down.
Play, though?
What?
Is it a tougher shot to play though? The way Hardik plays, not everyone can play like that.
What he pulled off, but it makes a lot of sense on slow turning pitches. Going down the pitch and trying to hit somebody straight, and just misread the ball completely. Nicholas Pooran against the turn so early in the inning.
Okay, break down the two captains' innings for me, because Hardik Pandya took time, built an innings, and then now we can clearly say those crucial extra runs he got of Ravi Bishnoi proved to be the difference. On the other hand, KL Rahul started so well, and we thought he's in a different mood today and could finish this game quickly, and he suddenly slowed down to a point where he couldn't get a boundary deep into his innings, whereas that's what worked for Hardik. So what does that tell us if we analyze both those innings?
See, Hardik's innings was exceptional, but would have been inadequate if Lucknow would have gone about their business properly which means KL Rahul and Krunal Pandya just batting deep, and then you have a couple of wickets falling, they would have got there. You would have backed, after the kind of power play that they had, it was sensational. Mohammad Shami being scored off, you had Rashid Khan being hit in that way. So the platform was set for them to win it easily. The KL Rahul, the only glitch that he had, I thought, was that Mohammad Shami over, when it was imperative for him to hit
find at least one or two boundaries.
Because I can understand him slowing down a little bit, because he started off superbly, and he was striking at 150 at one point of time. It went down to 140 and 120, and it's not while he was setting a target, it was while chasing a target, and because of the conditions around him. So that's the only little observation, that I would make, that he could not cash in on that Shami over, and the boundaries didn't come for him. Until that, I thought he was just superb.
Yeah, like you rightly point out, Tom, at times he's over-scrutinized KL Rahul for just the package that he is or what he's done, and his own high standards perhaps work against him. Now, how critically would you review his innings? Because I'm sure there'd be Lucknow fans sitting back and saying, oh, Rahul just needed to score one more boundary. He was the set batter. We've seen Kohli do that, and Butler do that, and Warner do that, and we expect those standards from KL Rahul.
I think, to be honest with you, I don't think any blame's on KL Rahul, in my view. I think the team has let him down.
Yeah.
He and Kyle Mayers at the top of the order set the ideal platform to chase that target down. Whether, Colonel Pandya should have come in at 3 or not, still his contribution was adequate after that start. And the rest of the team and the way it was structured, as in the strategy around the batting order, basically was the difference.
Yeah.
The Mohit Sharma story, it grows, because if Mohit Sharma goes for a couple of boundaries in that over first up, or KL Rahul gets the boundary off him, it's a completely different conversation we're having. But Mohit Sharma, it's now 2 games where we're seeing the value of yet another one of those, well, let's not call them dinosaurs, but these players who we think were done, and here he is now bowling a fine last over.
I think, again, it's an example of experience. Someone that's been around a long time, he's got an unexpected opportunity, and he has embraced it and is loving that chance. If you were ever to ask him what type of surface he'd love to bowl that last over on, he has just had it gifted to him, because he's a very canny bowler. He's got a good York hit. That slower ball gets stuck in that slow surface, goes nowhere. It's so hard to hit. You can't hit it down the ground for 6. You certainly can't hit it square. So it's great for him. I'm thrilled for him, because he's had to come through the back door. He's had to work very, very hard as a net bowler after being an IPL player of some calibre. But he's been prepared to put his ego aside and do the hard work and prove as a net bowler that I'm good enough to still be here and have a presence in this tournament.
I think the words that he used were, the key to his success. Unexpected opportunity. And that is what he's thriving on. He's a guy who's got nothing to lose. When he was playing in his prime, there was something at stake. There was the added pressure. And yes, ideal bowler for these conditions. I mean, we were watching the final over live here, right? And we thought, is it going to happen? Will they strike 2 boundaries? I said, no chance. Mohit Sharma is not going to let them do that on a pitch like this, and the expected happened. Mohammad Shami's over 19. We always forget the 19th over, because recency of
I mean, there is honestly an all-round bowling effort worth applauding here. Shami none for 18, Jayant none for 26, Noor Ahmed 2 for 18 of his 4, which also perhaps makes you feel. I know there'd been an element of the Titans thinking, Lucknow have bottled this, but on the other hand, they batted first after winning the toss. They brought in Noor Ahmed for Alzari Joseph. They brought in Jayant Yadav. They seem like a team that would take a lot from this game and say, we were tactically spot on. Or do you sense that's overstating it, and we should look at more of how Lucknow have lost this more than Gujarat have won this?
I think there's a couple of things to take out of that. I think the Noor Ahmed selection was a tactical stroke of genius. And I think there's one person in that dressing room out of anyone that will be having a smile from ear to ear, and that will be Rashid Khan, because you can guarantee Rashid Khan was the one that pushed for the Noor Ahmed selection at the auction, and he'll be thrilled that a young Afghani, wrist spinner is also doing, having a presence in the IPL.
All right. And almost I don't know if it's fair to say, but there's a CSK-esque feeling about the Titans, where they pick these players that no one else seems to get, and immediately there is an impact. There's a smart captain there. There's a happy dressing room there. In a very short span of time in the IPL, they have made a name for themselves as a franchise.
Yes, I think in many ways Ashish Nehra is an important part of their planning,
Former
and
CSK boy
Hardik
himself,
Pandya as well. You know, they stay real about the results. They do what makes cricketing sense. If the results don't come along, that's fine. I had the opportunity to speak to Ashish immediately after Rinku had done what he did, and he was analyzing that as a neutral. So if you're not too emotionally invested in the team and just going by cold cricketing logic, just like Dhoni does, on occasion he'll be unhappy if the process was wrong in achieving the right result. So it seemed like this team, a little more flashy than CSK, but have the same approach. It's a very street smart approach.
Excellent. Wonderful discussion on a game that I didn't think would deserve it, but then it turned out to be the kind of game that gave us plenty to talk about. In keeping with the spirit of the tournament, we've also gone a bit over time. So let's have a look at the teams. Mumbai and Punjab is already underway, and focus on any significant changes if there are any. Rohit Sharma's won the toss back at the Wankhede. Welcome back, Jofra Archer. Saw videos on Instagram that tells us that he is ready to bowl. He's in a good space, so we think he certainly is. Nehal Vadera could likely become the impact sub when they bat, and it is Riley Meredith who would make way for Jofra Archer, as was expected. Let's have a look at the Punjab side before I get comments from Sanjay and Tom. Now, Matthew Short has actually been given a promotion. His preferred role is opening the batting in the Big Bash. That's where he's walked out along with Prabh Simran Singh. It means Atarf Taide might bat 3, and Shikhar Dhawan continues to be absent. So Sam Curran leads this side. No changes from the team that otherwise went down to the Royal Challengers Bangalore at home a few days back. You'll find Harpreet Bhatia bat a bit higher than that, as Punjab Kings are batting first, and Prabh Simran is of course in the starting 11 and not an impact sub. No surprises, but the return of Archer, that I guess, Tom, is just going to add a little, shot in the arm for Mumbai, who are eyeing 4 wins out of 4, and all of a sudden the IPL looks rosy for them.
I think the shot in the arm is for the IPL, not just Mumbai Indians. To have a world-class pace bowler like Jofra Archer playing again is wonderful for him. It's wonderful for Mumbai, but it's wonderful for cricket because he is box office. Yep. So it's great to see him back, and look forward to him continuing to play with Mumbai. Yeah,
we believe it would have been lovely to see both Archer and Rabada on the same night, but we're told Kagiso Rabada is nursing a niggle and therefore continues to sit out. Without Rabada, without Dhawan, is it fair to say this team lacks just some key holes, or there are some key holes in this team, and therefore they may not be favourites in this game, Sanjay?
I think bowling wise they're okay. Nathan Ellis will do a good job in place of Rabada. He's likely to be sub. Their batting hinges a lot on 3 foreign players. I'm including Sam Curran as well in that list. So as long as Matthew Short, Liam Livingstone and Sam Curran aren't contributing enough, then you're sort of depending on a limited sort of group of Indian players, perhaps Simran, Atharva Taide. Hitesh Sharma has been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it heavily depends on the 3 foreign players. Shah Rukh Khan has been playing the cameos, but the real meat of the batting is in the hand of Matthew Short and Liam Livingstone, and to an extent Sam Curran.
All right, I don't know if you like the move of Short coming up. Obviously that's his preferred role, but looking at that and the fact that Punjab are batting first and that Archer is back, give me a first innings score, Tom Moody.
This is a tough one for me.
Yeah,
it's going to be high, but not as high as it should be, because I feel that Punjab side's a pretty weak side as a batting unit. So I'm going to go for 171.
171 says Tom Moody. Sanjay Manjrekar?
I'm going to go with a bigger score because I think this pitch will suit the likes of Matthew Short and people like Liam Livingstone. So I'm getting
I would like to keep it short when you talk about Matthew Short.
So 200 runs, just short of 200 runs.
Just short of 200. Very well. What you can also do is, it doesn't matter what you say because we're relieving you now. You have a flight in the morning. So thank you for your time. You have a short journey now home and a short flight tomorrow too. Where are you?
To Bangalore.
To Bangalore. Excellent. Thank you very much. Sanjay, Tom, you're going nowhere. I am. But you will stay exactly where you are, and we will get Tom Moody's thoughts at half-time on Visit Saudi Presents ESPNcricinfo T20 Time. Do download our mobile app. You don't need me to remind you. 30 matches into the IPL, but just in case you want to stay up to date with everything that's going on, including some crazy results like what we've seen earlier today in Lucknow. It should make for a very nice conversation the next time we discuss what sort of surface Lucknow make. They've been caught with their pants down, it seems, when the Titans have managed to get this win over them. So we look back at the points table at the end of it all, and the Punjab innings once it's done. Look forward to your company then.